Hi guys, it's your girl Vonnie. Welcome to PiecesofMeTv. I am back with another review, and today it's Married to Medicine, okay? And all these girls needed to make this show a little bit better was Phaedra in the background with all this arguing was going on, saying, "Fix it, Jesus." That's all this show needed, okay? Let's get right into all the arguments and the foolishness. We're still at the WEN Conference, and Quad and Mariah are still arguing. They're both crying, and then they go their separate ways. Mariah goes into the bathroom where Simone happens to be there, and she's crying, calling Quad a roach, and that's the type of friend that you can't play with, because let me tell you something. My best friend, okay, if I start arguing with her today and she feeling some type of way, she's not going to go back and say things that I've said to her or tell my business. She's just going to go about her way and be like, that bitch tripping, but I'm going to give her a minute and then we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? She ain't going to go and call me a roach, a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. She's just not going to do that, because that's just what girlfriends do. You argue, you be mad, and you might say to yourself, like, I know all this bitch business. But then you be like, but that's my girl. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to go about my way. Not Mariah. And Simone was saying, don't tell that girl business. Don't do that. Y'all were friends. And y'all loved each other. Don't tell that girl business. And it probably went right over her head, honey. So anyway, so Quad walked away from Dr. Heavenly and Toya and Simone and all the other girls because she was just over it. You know, she's like, this is my life and I'm not going to play with this. And so she walks away, I think to get her makeup fixed or something like that. And so Toya's sitting on the couch, and Simone is sitting nearby, and Heavenly's standing up, and they're talking about it. And Simone said, Toya, why are you looking at me like that? And Toya said, because something, I forgot what she said. And she's like, because I'm just being selfish and mean, and I'm sorry. And they hugged each other and cried it out. You know what I'm saying? That's what a real friend can do. You know what I'm saying? They can admit, I'm tripping and I'm wrong. And it took this situation to do it, but at least one friendship was saved out of this whole situation. So they're back at the from the intermission, from the Tranquility Suite, which wasn't quite tranquil, if you ask me. But they go back to the conference, and they're sitting down, and the panel is getting ready to start. And so Dr. Heavenly is telling the girls, like, I don't understand why Dr. Jackie up there and I'm not up there, okay? Because I'm an author and a doctor, and I have my own businesses, and I have a radio show, and I have this, and I have that. And the girls are like, oh, okay. And the next thing you know, that big little heifer was sitting on that stage next to Dr. Jackie. She ain't asked to get up there, nothing, okay? So she sits down, and Lisa Nicole is looking like, did this bitch just help herself to my panel? And Dr. Heavenly was saying, like, well, there was open seats, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to help Lisa Nicole out by going ahead and filling in. So she lets it go. She's like, she must have had something she wanted to say to these women, and it's for a good cause. I'm going to let her have it. So Dr. Jackie goes, and she talks about, you know, women's health and the importance and the connection between being overweight and breast cancer and things like that. And then she passes the mic to our uninvited guest. And Dr. Heavenly gets on the mic, and she's like, talking, but it's just weird. Well, before she starts talking, Lisa Nicole introduces her, and she was saying, you know, this one next lady, she asked me, well, why my picture not in the program? Who does that? Who does that? Who does that? I guarantee you, if this, I'm sorry to all my people who don't like racial comments, but this is about to be racial, but I guarantee you, if this conference was done by a white woman, Dr. Heavenly wouldn't have got her black ass up there and sat on that stage with her big old lips and fixed her mouth to say anything. She'd have sat in that seat and she might have been mad about it, but she wouldn't have did that. She took advantage of Lisa Nicole. I didn't like that. I really, really did not like that. That or that bitch is just crazy, okay? Anyway, so Lisa Nicole was like, you know, she wanted to know why her picture wasn't in the program, and you know, so this was a last minute ad, you know what I'm saying? But she owns several businesses, and I look forward to getting to know her. Dr. Heavenly. And everybody gives her the attention, and she starts talking, and it's like, see, I've been to several conferences, and they talk about the same thing, but it's true. And here, they talking about the same thing, but it's true. Google me. What? Why? I'm like, Dr. Simone, and then they Google you, and then what? Well, where do we go from here? What happens after we Google you? Oh, all right. Like, it just was like a status thing for her. Like, I feel like if you genuinely had something on your heart that you wanted to share with those women, okay, fine. You wanted to use that to literally network, which you could have in the audience. You didn't have to network on this woman's stage when she's trying to give off a positive message. It was too much .org, and I'm over it. I'm really not liking Dr. Heavenly, and she just keeps giving me reasons not to. Next, what happens? So Simone goes over to Dr. Jackie's office, and they talk about the WEN Conference and her and Toya, and then they start talking about how Dr. Simone has a patient who is an adoption counselor, and she really wants Jackie to meet with her, you know, and she'll go with her for support. So Dr. Jackie agrees, you know, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it as well, you know, when I heard about it, because I think adoption is something great, and I love when shows highlight that it's more than one way to be a mother. You don't have to birth a child to be a mother, or to give a child love and a life and you know, to raise them. So I love when shows talk about that. And some people can't afford to see adoption counselor, even though it's more than one way to go about adoption, expensive and inexpensive ways, and people don't know other options. So I think it's very good to have an adoption counselor on to help everybody out, you know. So Lisa Nicole, she is going for her appointment for, I can't pronounce the name of that damn procedure she was getting. She kept pronouncing it, and it was confusing me. She was going to go get this stuff looked at to see if not it was breast cancer or if they were just cysts. So her babies, who look just like Chico DeBarge, and by Chico DeBarge, I don't mean Chico DeBarge, I mean her husband, because he a Chico DeBarge type dude. But they look just like their daddy. But anyway, except for her daughter looks like her. But so they're sitting down on the floor and they're praying, you know, and she just really wanted to have that moment with her kids. And after her kids left for school, she went to get herself together, and I guess it just emotionally it was too much for her, and she started to cry, and she just had a little bit of a breakdown. And then her husband came and took her to the appointment, and it ended with good news. When they did the whatever the name of the procedure is, basically what they do is they take like almost what's like a needle, they probe the little cyst, and if liquid comes out, I guess that means it was just a cyst. If it was like a liquid filled sac, so I guess that's what happened. Each one popped, which was good for her, which means that it's not cancer. They won't know definitely until some type of cell study comes back, but that's good news for her, and she was so excited. Her and her husband are so cute together, and they were so excited. They have a beautiful home. What happened next? Dr. Jackie meets with the adoption counselor, and I was really thinking when she started talking about her life, the adoption counselor, and she was saying that, well, Dr. Simone delivered 2 of her babies, and she's adopted, I think, 4, and has a 5th one that she wants to adopt. And I just think that's so, so, so beautiful. And for her to say that you could love your adopted child just like you do your birth child, I think it's a beautiful thing, because a mother is a mother, you know. And it makes me want to learn more about it, and maybe it's something I could do in my life. I think it was a beautiful moment. The one thing that I've always felt, I felt like adoption is way too expensive, but maybe Dr. Jackie, can afford it. She makes good money, you know what I'm saying? But I just think adoption is way too expensive. You want me to pay several $1,000s, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to adopt a child, and then have to take care of them, have a college fund, do all these things. I just think it's a little crazy. But she went over all the steps you have to take before you even get to the point of looking at children to bring into your home. And it's a lot of steps. And Dr. Jackie was saying I'll go through every one of those steps. But the only thing that concerns me is, what happens when, the little girl or little boy turns 13 and says, I don't like you anymore. I want to talk to my real mama. And it's like, when you have open adoption, that's what you have to do. You have to deal with that. And she broke down crying. My heart just goes out to her. I feel for her because I've gone through my own issues with infertility. And so I can definitely relate to Dr. Jackie. And it scares me to think that I may be in that position one day. You know what I'm saying? So my heart goes out to her. I'm praying for her and her family. And I really hope that her husband sees that need in her. And I hope that she is willing to let go of some things and sacrifice some things to have that family that she's always wanted. Rico and Quad. Quad is in the little fabric place putting together some things because Quad needs to have samples for these potential investors. And so Rico is helping her look for fabric and everything, and they're having fun. It's cute. Then they start talking about the WEN Conference and Mariah, and Rico gives her bad advice and tells her to invite Mariah to some breast cancer fashion show event. And she texts Mariah and invites her. And then afterwards, she says, I feel like this was a bad idea. He gonna say, me too. Well, bitch, why did you tell me to do it? With friends like Rico, who needs enemies? So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Like this video, share this video on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you will find the links to my social networks below in the underneath bar. That's underneath of this video, okay? Please leave a comment. I love when you guys leave just positive feedback for me. It doesn't have to be positive feedback, but just feedback, in general for me, as long as it's coming from a loving place. But I love your comments on that you guys are enjoying these reviews. I love to hear what you thought about the episode. We can have a conversation. I try to reply back to all comments, so definitely leave a comment below. And most importantly, okay, please subscribe. Join the Pieces of Me TV family. I look at my subscribers like cousins. You can't borrow no money, but you can damn sure get a cup of sugar in these videos, child. Okay? I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.